Yo, what's up? End of World War II day in Europe is approaching. I have to stress that since half of enlisted players are American and for them it's a bit different due to Pacific. And for this occasion, Gaijin decided to throw an event, as every year, and also a big sale for premium squads. But I was wondering, wasn't there a sale already going on? Well, there was a sale for squads bought with gold. Now there's a sale starting soon for squads being bought with currency. And since these are theoretically more expensive, because there are some ways to get gold for free, but with currency you always have to spend money, it's even more important to make informed buying decisions. So I'm gonna release a very, very precise guide for that to give you all the information you need to make good decisions and to avoid the bad squads and to get the good squads. And I was very happy I made a completely new guide like this 1 week ago, because many squads changed, some were adjusted, some weapons were changed regarding their stats, some squads were expanded, and also many squads who were too weak in the past became absolute great sleeper picks. So yeah, I can't wait to see which squads improved over the last 6 months since the last time that we had a sale like this. This is the first thing. Now, what about the event itself? Well, it has a cool image with nice flowers. That's one good thing for sure. But the rest is very splitting for the community, because many people voiced big disappointment regarding this event. Now, why did they say that? Very simple. Since it's the Victory Day event, it's theoretically the most important event you can have besides Christmas for a World War II game every year. Then, this time it's the 80th anniversary, meaning it's a round number. The next time you get the round number is in 10 years, and then the perfect round number in 20 years. And we rather not hold our breath for Gaijin to survive for so long. So we better have a good event for this occasion. But is this event actually good? Well, what are the prizes? First of all, how do you earn them? You play 20,000, or you earn 20,000 battle points within 2 days. This will be around 3 to 6 games completed, depending on how you play, for every player for 2 days. All right, quite easy to do, not much work. And every single time you reach these 2,000 within 2 days, you get the prizes for one of these stages. First time you get 5,000 silver. Then you get 15 appearance change orders, and then every time it's gray you get some random prizes which aren't too good. Mostly, yeah, not much, but still at least something. Now, what's important are the main prizes. And this is where the problems start. You get a pistol, okay, not much. Then you get an AI generated portrait based on a real picture from World War II. Yeah, I mean, why would you want a female pilot? First question. It's for the Soviets. It's not even a universal image you can use, so it's even more. It's not even a pilot. I think it's a machine gunner and a pilot. Yes, so it's very, very narrow. Okay, first problem. Then the pistol is also very narrow. I think it's for Americans. And then you get a split once again of Soviet and American stuff. You get a Soviet tank camo for the BR4 KV-1. Let's take a look at this first. Now, the tank camo itself is quite cool. You have these hit marks, which bring flavor to a KV-1, because KV-1s were famous, at least early war, for surviving dozens of hits. So yeah, very cool, makes sense, looks also nice. Also keep in mind, these hit marks only exist since 1 year. Before that, there weren't any enlisted. So very nice for me personally. And then you get these, whatever this is, decorated additional stuff on the tank. Also cool, since usually you don't have that. And then you have random numbers, and so okay. So it's okay skin, not bad. But the problem is, this KV-1 is not the one that everyone's playing. This KV-1 is the BR4 KV-1. Now there are 2 KV-1s in the game. The BR3 one, which is the one that the Germans are fearing, because he's very hard to kill. with literally 75 basically everywhere. You can't even flank them because he doesn't care about being flanked. And he also hits you back quite well. So, very strong tank, very hard to kill, and perfect in combination with the quite new long barrel T-34, which is, well, not that, well, easier to kill overall, but has a very dangerous cannon. So, great combo, and every time German players are up against this combo, you know this is going to be a strong, challenging match. Now, there's a second KV-1 too, not to be confused with a KV-2. There's the KV-1 ZIS-5 with a better, stronger cannon. And better armor overall, mostly in the turret. Alright, overall looks like an improvement, but here are the problems. In BF4, Germans don't have any problem anymore penetrating 75 or even 90 millimeters of armor. The Panther G, literally the standard German tank for BF4, does it without any trouble. So the tankiness isn't there anymore in BF4. So this is the reason no one's playing this tank, or very rarely. And now, after the down ranking, everyone's playing IS-1. Because this dude has a much better cannon and much better armor. Like, much better armor. And you also, if you want to have some cool anti-tank destruction experience, you can play the Soviet famous SU line of tank destroyers. I think this was also downgraded from BF5 to BF4, I'm not sure though. Yep, this is also cool. There's literally no reason to play the KV-1. It's just not that good. Now, why the hell would someone give a skin for a tank that's basically not played if you can instead use a KV, if you can make it a KV-1 skin instead? Like, this is a completely brain-rotting decision, because this is what everyone would be happy to get a skin on the KV-1. I already have a skin on the KV-1, because it's such an iconic and cool tank. But I would just play 2 KV-1s if I think it's possible. I mean, I wouldn't mind. Just play 2 KV-1s just to have the cool skins, and everything's fine. But, nope. Instead, it was made, it's just basically an ass-backwards decision to make it a skin for a tank that's basically no one's using. Which is double of a shame, because it's literally such a cool skin, so, yeah, a waste. Then you get something good, at least, the PPD Brummett, with its little brother, the silenced pistol. Well, no one cares about this pistol, I think it's a revolver, so it doesn't do anything, but you also get the PPD Brummett itself, which is actually great. Why is it great? It's like the normal PPD, but with, well, a bit of higher damage, as you can see. Well, sorry. Oh, actually, no, of course. A bit of lower damage, it's a nerf, but instead it has a suppressor, meaning enemy bots won't react to you shooting, which is actually an advantage, and I'd rather have the suppressor and the enemy's not shooting back at me instantly than a bit more damage. So yeah, this is great, and it's a BF4 weapon. Nice, we need more BF4 representation to actually make it a worthwhile BR playing, which over the last months became more realistic. And most importantly, since this was a gold order weapon, people could only have 4 of them. Now, if you get this, you can have 5 of them theoretically, which is exactly enough to play a partisan squad. And then you can literally have partisans who have 5 silenced weapons, which is very nice, very good flavor, also very cool and strong, also one of the few reasons to play partisans on higher BRs, where they usually drop really hard. BR4 is literally the last BR where you can play partisans, because they can't have assault rifles, so you need to give them as good as possible SMGs, and this is one of the best in the game. So yeah, very cool. Actually, possibly the best in the game, since it's BR4, and in BR5 they become, yeah, you're right, become obsolete compared to assault rifles. So yeah, this is a good decision actually. But now, well, you get a AI generated slop image, which is based on a real picture of a female machine gunner. Now the question is, yeah, like not that, yeah, nothing too great. Something more generic would be better overall. And then you get a plane. Now, what's the deal with the plane? First of all, the official post didn't contain any stats for the plane, which, once again, why? Now, before James, as long as James was still a helper, he always made sure to post stats of all of these weapons, which should, by the way, be automatically included in the main posts anyway, but apparently Gaijin is too lazy or doesn't understand it. So people always had to ask, and James was industrious enough to do it. Now apparently no one's posting these stats anymore. So I had to ask around, and I was told about the stats of this weapon, of this plane. It's a BR3 American plane, which comes with a 75mm cannon. Yep, this is a tank cannon in the nose. It comes with 4 heavy bombs, 250 kilogram, and it comes with 6 machine guns. I guess 6 heavy machine guns as usual. 4, I guess, in the front, and 2 in the back on a tail gun, I assume. On BR3. Now, the question is, why BR3? Because this plane literally is stronger than the, well, than the best American BR4 plane, which is this here. You get the A20 G25, which comes with, which is also quite a big heavy plane, which comes with, well, also 4 heavy bombs, almost the same amount of heavy machine guns, and it's quite clumsy. It only reaches 540, well, upgraded it will reach around 550, and the climb rate, yeah, climb rate is quite bad, and the turn rate is horrible. Now the thing is, the new event plane reaches around 600, has a similar climb rate, and a better turn rate of around 18 or 19. So this new plane, that should by all logic be much more for brick, is actually more elegant and overall has much more firepower than the than the BR4 plane, which doesn't make any sense at all and is completely unfair and introduces insane power creep. Like, this is straight up a bad placement of a plane. It should be by all logic be a BR4 plane or a BR5 plane, but not a BR3 plane. And what's making it even worse is that this plane is going to fly against Germany, which had a worse plane recently upgraded, up-tiered from BR3 to BR4. So, yep, this doesn't make any sense at all. And this plane is going to fly against the Japanese, which, if you look at their Tech 3, have literally more gaps in the plane line than they have planes. Germany has 0 gaps. They actually have to put everything into folders because there's literally no space left. Well, oh, we found 1 gap, woohoo. But they're like 10 planes in folders hidden. Japan has literally like 50% gaps. Now, this is the first problem. Then the planes that they have, almost all are unplayable. Even after multiple down rankings, many of them are still over-tiered. And another big problem that still wasn't addressed. Japan's highest attacker plane is a BR3 plane, which also, by the way, sucks. It just straight up sucks. Yeah, it sucks ridiculous. This is literally a BR2. Germany has almost the same plane as a BR2 plane. Like, it has a Stuka with 500 kilogram bomb and worse flying performance, but better machine guns. So this is literally a BR2 power on a slow-ass carrier taking off, which is a big Nerf 2 plane for Japan. After that, you only get fighter planes. Now, do you see the problem with this? Yes, the Japanese cannot have 2 planes on higher BRs. They cannot have 2 planes on BR4. They cannot have 2 planes on BR5. And if you don't want to lose, you can't even play this on BR3. So, Japan has basically no functional Air Force, although every nation that's playing against America desperately needs a functional Air Force, because the American Air Force consists of the 2 most overpowered and most unfair vehicles in the game. First, the P-47, which is straight up overpowered as fuck, with 10 HVARs and 1 heavy bomb, plus perfect other flying stats. Also insane speed, by the way, for a non-jet plane. And then, of course, Enlisted's official new most unfair item in the game, the Meteor, which comes with technically impossible flying characteristics, especially the turn rate, and 2 heavy bombs. Yep, this is just brain dead as it gets, and Japan has to play against this. And we don't even need to talk about the BR3 and 4 planes because they also easily stomp on Japan. And Japan can't even have 2 planes in the sky to defend against the American planes, because you only have a fighter plane, so you can't have attacker planes in the sky. Once again, don't even try playing this bullshit against American jet planes to somehow shoot them down. Yes, sure. Yes, sure. The fucking the fucking normal machine gun is gonna shoot down a jet plane. Yep, no thanks. This is ridiculous. Yeah, and it's ridiculous that it still wasn't addressed, because here's the problem. If you look at the change logs recently, after the jet plane update, everyone was saying the jet planes are completely lacking balance, they're completely stupidly implemented in the game. Now, first decision was to somehow mitigate this by giving the Kika, the Japanese jet, a bigger bomb, so 800 kilogram. Okay, good decision. Smart would have been to make it to do it instantly before the release, because this was, by all logic, the worst jet in the game. Okay. Then, since everyone complained, why should I spend $40 on a naval plane if it's even much worse than the Tech Tree? So the ammunition of the cannon was a bit improved. But the problem with the Japanese fighter plane monoculture and lack of attacker squads is just, yeah, it wasn't addressed, and this is why people are getting annoyed. Why the fuck wasn't it done? Literally all you need to do is either make the Kicker an attacker plane or make the Kiko an attacker plane. Just make the Kicker an attacker plane, because it doesn't make any sense at all why the heaviest bomb in the game is on a fighter plane. Like an 800 kilogram bomb, which looks very cool by the way, very big with a green nose. This heaviest bomb load in the game on a single bomb should be on an attacker, not on a fighter. It's fucking not on a fighter. Especially not if it's modeled after a German Jagdbomber. So basically a bomber that can also fight a little bit. Yeah, like this needs to be done ASAP, because there's simply no balance. And also some people who are high on British flavor, they complain that this plane, despite being British theoretically, doesn't have a British crew, just an American crew. Yes. Now, yeah, this is also stupid historical inaccuracy. Why not put it into a British crew? Yeah, why not give it a British crew? It wouldn't be that hard. It would take maybe 30 minutes of work. Yes, guess what? If you want to create products that people actually care about, yeah, put in the work. Just fucking put in the work. It's not too much. Most of the work is outsourced anyway and barely paid. So yeah, guess what? Yep, yeah, that's the summary about the event. It's overall okay, but here's my prediction. People will be very unhappy about the skin. There will be soy mouthing about the PPD Brummet, and this plane will be up-tiered to BR4 because it's simply ridiculous. Like if for those who are still unconvinced why this plane is not BR3 power, I already showed you a straight up weaker plane that is BR4 for the Americans. But, well, if you look at the German naval plane, the German attacker plane, the new one that we just talked about, if you look at it, it has just a 50mm cannon. That's it, no other weaponry, just a 50mm cannon, and only advantage is it has speed of a jet power. It has no other weapons. This BR5 plane is much worse than the event BR3 plane. Once again, the BR3 plane should be on BR4 or maybe BR5. You can't have a plane like this on BR5 and a plane that's much stronger on BR3. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so I guess the point was made. This event is quite lackluster. This is a theme of over the last months, that the events get worse and worse and worse and rarer and rarer. Now, obviously, these events can be more often happening, but if they are so rare, just increase the prices. Because if they are so rare, people expect more because people think that they weren't given stuff in the past. So give people more stuff. No one wants these pistols. Also, I think Colts are straight up worse than high Brownings. There's no reason to use any other pistol for Americans than the high Brownings. They could just have given someone, well, just give people something better. Also, there are many cool old event squads which you could have, well, taken the weapons out and put as prices. For example, there's this very cool, everyone's favorite German silenced MP40 squad. Now, since the loot box sale was recently, many people received this, so putting this as an event price wouldn't be that good. But you can just use the MP40 silenced as a price. Yeah, give people this. Give people the silenced 10 of the British equivalent of the squad, and people will be happy. Just give them 2 of these MP40s and 2 silenced 10s instead of stuff like the nickel pistol. Also, please no more half-assed portraits. Like, come on, like these portraits, like make some interesting, cool portraits, and whoever is doing these portraits, fucking learn how to use AI images. It literally took me just around 15 hours over this, or spread around 1 year, to become very proficient with AI imaging. Whoever is doing these images literally just needs to become serious and produce images. I mean, it's not hard to produce AI images that don't look like AI. Literally, if someone in the year 2025 is posting AI images, and you instantly identify it as an AI image, that's a person who doesn't know how to use AI. Because AI is so good now, you can easily make it looking in a way that it's not like an AI image. But this is, well. And once, if possible, the Gaijin should here's the smart thing, Gaijin should give people a second skin for free. That's the skin for the KV1 and BR3. This would be smart. People would like and respect that because they would see, oh, we get this skin, Gaijin learned from its mistake and gave everyone a free skin. Yeah, that would be smart. Very good, BR3 KV1 skin. And people would even be happy to just skin out all of their KV1s. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, and this, well, as I said already, yeah. So the only really good thing about this is the Brummet and an overpowered plane, but the overpowered plane is going to ruin the game for all the German enemies, but most importantly for the Japanese player base, which is not good. So, yeah, okay, let me know what you think and what your thoughts are about this event. Now, as I promised you, I'm going to do a second video about the tournament. Since the tournament is going to be once again on this Saturday for the next rounds, and likely the last rounds, I'm going to release the video maybe Sunday or Monday, so you're up to date with everything that happened and the new games. Because everyone was watching not everyone, but many people were watching the games and my video about that, and saw what's going on, and we're gonna see if what new tactics and ideas the teams come up with. Also, as I promised, the guide for the new premium squads that are on sale. Expected either today evening or tomorrow. And keep in mind, with every sale like this, you also get a bit of FOMO, which is not written here. The FOMO is that multiple squads will be removed. Among them, the American Calliope squad from BR4, which is almost the only good squad that gets removed. There are not that many good squads. So yeah, the Calliope is going to get removed, which is not a loss because it's insanely overpriced for what it does. Then, and it got power crapped hard. Then the Sherman Firefly is going to get removed, which, well, if it was a BR4 tank, I would say, sad. The cannon is actually great, and the camouflage looks nice. But it's literally a BR5 tank that's unplayable and only playable in BR4 at best, so yeah, no one's gonna miss that. And there's another little complaint we have to say simply. It's that the Panzerwerfer is gonna get removed. Now, the German rocket launcher tank, with actually strong 15 centimeter rockets, or 16 almost, yep, this tank, no one's gonna miss it either, because despite being a very cool, unique tank, there's no other tank like this. It actually is just, that has actually effective rockets, and only basically rockets, nothing else, not even armor, just rockets, no cannon. This tank always looked cool, but it was basically unplayable because it's not a BR 4 tank. It's a BR 3 tank at best, and yeah, more like a BR 2 tank. It's not. It wouldn't even be properly playable on BR 3. So I've been saying for 1 year this tank needs to be downranked, but it never happened. So now that it gets removed, no one's gonna be sad, because literally no one's buying it or sad about it. Here's the thing, you can look at the squads that are getting removed. Many of them are getting removed because no one's buying them. And this is like a FOMO trick to get you buy these squads. Yeah, once again, if Gaijin doesn't listen and doesn't properly give them BRs where they're actually playable, then of course no one's going to buy them. So yeah. Alright, until soon, and goodbye.